Have you ever just sat there knowing that you're supposed to pray, but you actually don't? I mean, you're not even angry at God, or it's not because you don't believe in Him. It's just that you don't feel like praying. And I don't know, it's just so odd because prayer is like having a conversation with God, a God that you believe in, and yet we struggle to have a conversation with yo, sorry, to have a conversation with Him. Now I have to get water. Let me get water, sorry.
My time is now.
I hope I have water. Yeah, I have water. That's so nice. Sorry guys, let me just quickly. That feels so good. We need water. Prayer is like water, guys. You see right now, this is totally off the script. I I don't know. I choked on myself, and the first thing that I thought of was water. Maybe you don't pray because you are disappointed, or perhaps your prayer was not answered according to how you wanted, or perhaps He actually didn't answer according to you. But just because of that hiccup, just because of that tough experience, it doesn't mean that you don't need prayer or you don't need to pray, because that's actually the most important thing. In fact, it is that moment when you actually do need prayer. I didn't feel like drinking water, but because I had to, I drank it. And because I drank it, I actually feel better. I didn't know that I needed water. Who knew I needed water? I don't. Who feels like wanting to drink water? I know my English right now is not really giving, but this is just off, off. It just came right now, as you guys noticed. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, so let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about how what happens. What happens? Why is it that we believe in God and yet we struggle to pray? We know water is important, but we struggle to drink water the proper amount. Why? Anyways, and we know that prayer is important. We all know that. So where does the problem come in? Where does it all begin? Anyways, my first pointer is that prayer does not praying does not just happen overnight. Let me just rephrase that. Um, the lack of prayer is like a silent killer. Like it gradually happens. It just doesn't happen like all of a sudden I stop praying. As I mentioned before, it can either be because you're disappointed and then it builds up to um, one moment maybe you feel like God is not even listening to you. And I think that's what leads us to stop praying as well, because we just feel like, okay, no, it's like my prayers are just reaching the ceiling and that's it. It's going nowhere. I mean, Jesus himself felt like he was forsaken by God when he says, my God, why have you forsaken me?" in Matthew chapter 27, verse 26. So if you ever feel like your prayers are just reaching the ceiling, then please do understand that you're not alone. Even Jesus himself felt that way. Even David felt that way in Psalms 10, verse 1, which says, "Why, Lord, do you stand far off? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble?" Why? Anyways, that takes me to the second pointer, whereby I'm just really actually asking myself, like, maybe we've got it all wrong. Maybe we've been wrong about prayer. Maybe the real problem is not that prayer doesn't work, but maybe it's the fact that the problem is how we expect it to work. The thing is, we treat God as if he is a vending machine. We just present requests to him and we expect him to answer according to our own according to our own whatnot. I don't know what word to use. According to our own desires. Yes, according to our own desires. And yet to forget that he is way wiser than we are, and that yes, him not necessarily answering according to how you wanted It doesn't mean that he hasn't heard you. It doesn't mean that he hasn't answered you. He answered you according to his will, which is better than your will. But what if prayer is also not just about getting things? What if it's also about survival? What if it's also about survival? You need to survive. You need water to survive. This is so off topic, but this just really happened impromptu, guys. What if, and praise God for that, what if prayer is survival? We need prayer, especially in times when it is just tough, in times when we are disappointed, in times when we feel like He's not there, in times when we don't even feel like praying. That is the time when we need to actually pray. Prayer is literally like survival, because with prayer, you find yourself trusting in God despite of the situation that you're in, singing to God despite of the situation or how you feel. I mean, if you look at Job lost everything. He lost his family, he lost his health, he lost his wealth, and yet he still continued to pray. And this prayer was a form of trust that despite of what I'm going through, I know that God is with me. I know that God is there. It doesn't change the fact that God is not seeing me at this point. Well, at least, the wife didn't vanish as well. Praise God for that. But yeah, wives are important. I'm kidding. Anyways, it just shows that prayer is not just about asking for things and receiving. It's not just about words, but it is also about a connection. When you pray, it fosters this deep connection that you have with God. Because remember, prayer is communication, and where there is communication, there is connection. Ooh, I didn't see that one coming. Anyways, in Psalms 13 verse 1, it says, "How long, Lord, will you forget me forever?" But notice that David did not stop talking to God. Despite of him feeling like God was far off, he still continued to talk to God. So I think that's how it should be. And we need to be brutally honest with God. If you don't know what to say, then I guess you just have to be like, you know what, God, I don't know what to say. Because I feel like sometimes for me personally, I might kneel down and I'm like, you know what, I do not know what to say. I don't know what to say. I'm kneeling here, God, but I really do not know what to say. And also because sometimes it's because I don't really feel like praying sometimes, But that's the thing. Prayer is not about feeling. Faith is not about feeling. It's about trust. And so if you go according to our feelings, then we might probably not pray for decades. Just imagine when you wake up in the morning, do you wake up because you feel like waking up, because you've got things to do? Imagine if you now go according to your feelings and you decide to sleep throughout the whole day because you don't feel like waking up. You'll miss out on work, you'll miss out on school, you'll miss out on the things that you're supposed to do. So if you go according to our feelings generally in everything in life, then we might not move, or we might not step up, if I can put it that way. And so I do have a challenge for you. I know it is difficult. I know that you know that prayer is important, but I just want to challenge you. And so here's my challenge. Despite of you not feeling like praying, pray anyway. Pray in silence, but do not let silence push you away from God. Let it push you towards Him instead. And in Jeremiah chapter 33 verse 3, it says, "Call to me and I'll answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know." Maybe prayer doesn't change the situation per se, but it changes us. It helps us to humble ourselves and actually seek God. Yeah, that's all I just wanted to tell you today. That yes, I know the struggle is real. We are all struggling, but let us try to go beyond our feelings, because prayer is important as much as water is important in our life. But it's good. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you join the family. My name is Shamin Faith, by the way, and I do Faith News content. If you want to join the family, please do join the family so that you can be notified when there's a new video that is uploaded. Thank you so much, and this is episode 4.